Hi, good evening all. Thank you so much for joining in this live session on such a short notice. I, Vanshika Saraswat, on behalf of entire WIP team, wants to personally congratulate you all for successfully completing the registrations for the WIP program. So our entire team is here to interact with you and give you certain tips and tricks as to what is the next step on how to prepare the online assessment. So it's very glad to see all the women candidates showing their deep interest in our WIP program. So since we at Wipro believe in diversity, and hence this boot camp has been curated entirely for our women candidates who have registered for WIP program. So this entire session will help you understand the assessment process and what are the next steps after you complete your assessment, and so you'll be soon receiving links as to when is your next test being scheduled for you. So we have our next assessment scheduled for you on 26th of November, this weekend. So be prepared for that. Before we move ahead, as you all know that WIP program is Work Integrated Learning Program. So you must have heard about this program in the pre-placements or connects or in the virtual connect sessions. So just to throw some light on that, we have Radhika, our national head for WIP charter. I'll hand it over to Radhika and she'll explain you more about the WIP program, its benefits and what are the learnings about this program. Over to you, Radhika.
All right. Thank you so much, Vanshika, and very good evening to one and all. Thank you so much for joining this session. So, as Vanshika pointed out, we've been having this session series of this assessment boot camp. So, the first assessment happened sometime last month. So, since then on, I think 29th November was October was the first assessment. So, from then on, we've been having this series of sessions. Today is very special because this is our second series for the women candidates who have registered with us. So we thought we should exclusively address all of you. And thank you once again for showing interest in this Wipro WLP program. And it is our duty to appraise you in terms of what are the benefits that you as a WLP scholar will be getting once in case you decide to take up this program. So now you've taken the first step. You've all registered to this Wipro WLP program. And I think when somebody is doing BSc, there are two things that you basically evaluate, right? Whether to pursue with your higher studies, continue with your MSc, or to join a job and get a monthly CTC, right? So let's take two scenarios that what you see on the screen. So let's take the first one. You join a job right after your graduation. So you get a good head start of your career, etc. But later, after 2, 3 years, after you probably lay a good foundation, right? So what is the thing that in case if in case you pursue your graduation, there is no necessity that you'll be landing up in a good job, right? Even after pursuing your higher education. And if in case you decide to start a career with a organization, after 3 years, the similar question will come. So have I made the right choice? Should I have done my higher education after completing my undergrad, right? So these questions will definitely be there because while you do your higher studies, when you decide to pursue your MSc, you will definitely be spending some money, right? And at the end of the day, that investment should yield you with a good job, right? And that guarantee, if you ask me, if that you will have, if in case you pursue your higher education outside, so which is a matter of discussion. So nobody can give 100% confirmation that yes, if in case you choose to do your higher studies, you will be getting or you will be landing up in a good job, right? So we at Wipro, we understood your concerns. We know what are the queries that is in front of you. So it is only two things. One, whether to pursue your higher studies. Two, whether to continue your work, right? Just after completing your undergraduation. So we at Wipro, we came up with this program called as Wipro Work Integrated Learning Program. So this is nothing but this gives you the flavor of both the worlds. You get an opportunity to study or do your higher education, plus parallelly you will also start working in live projects, right? So you start working, you continue your studies, and it is a dual benefit that you get when once you decide to take up this offer. And one good thing is it is completely sponsored by Wipro. You need not spend a penny in terms of completing your MTech. And I think all of you by this time would be aware that if in case a BSc graduate, you'll not be able to do your MTech. You'll only be able to do your MSc. And this opportunity, you're able to get it only because the reason Wipro has a tie-up with BITS Pilani, and we have been doing it for quite some time. So it all started in the year 1995, right? And since then on, we have been doing it, and close to about 40,000 plus graduates have gotten graduation from MTech program from BITS Pilani, right? So once you decide to join Wipro, guys, the next 6 to 7 years of your career is set because already you have a service agreement of 5 years, which is taken care. You come here, you work, you learn. So it's earn while you learn concept, as I was telling you. So this 6 to 7 years is easily taken care by Wipro. Once you complete, right, with respect to the benefits, even while you are pursuing your higher education, whatever you see on the screen is the stipend that you get. So it's a earn while you learn model. While the starting stipend starts at 15,488, and at the fourth year you'll be getting 23,000. Right. So in between there are milestones. Year two you get 17,500, and year three you get 19,600. And during the entire course of this 5 years, right, you do have a group personal accident cover of 12 lakhs. You have a group life insurance of 14 lakhs. And as I told you, the MTech degree is completely sponsored by Wipro. And apart from this, your basic CTC, right? Even though if you're not able to perform well, the base CTC after 5 years, completion of your 5 years, after successfully completing your MTech program, starts from 5 lakh, and based on your performance it might go up till 7.5 to 8 lakh. And after which we don't stop there, we do give you a performance bonus in your 6th year, 7th year, 8th year. So it starts from 1 to 1.5 lakh, again based on your performance, right? So easily after 7 to 8 years, if you're a high performer, you can expect anywhere at a range of 10.5 to 11 lakhs will be your max cap of CTC. And we've also seen people going beyond, over and beyond that, right? So at the end of the day, all we want to say from a WILP standpoint is, and you have taken the first step, you've registered for it. Now that you know the benefits of what you're going to sign up for, I think this would have given you a good context around what you can expect if in case you're clearing and getting an offer from Wipro WILP program. And this specific session is to probably hold your hand and move you towards the next step, which is the preparation of your online assessment. So while we have Vanshika who will walk you through the assessment, today's session is a very special session. So we have an inspiring women leader with us, Ruchita Tandon, along with us. She's an inspiring women leader who has been associated with Wipro for a longer time. So I'll have Vanshika to formally introduce her. But before that, I think this is the construct. This is something which we have for you for the next 45 minutes. So I think now that you know what Wipro WLP program is all about, what is the history, and historically how many people have successfully graduated from this program, the benefits that you're going to have from this program. So just because of the reason that we are telling you, it's not mandate that you will have to decide now. Hear from us, hear from your probably acquaintances who have been into this program in the past, probably your first circle, second circle of people whom you know, if in case they are part of WLP, I think they are better ambassadors instead of us probably to give you what is the actual value that you drive after this program, right? So I think make a conscious call. If I were at your place, having to choose between offers, I would definitely opt for it. It's not. I'm not telling this because we own this program, obviously, but I'm telling you from a long-term career standpoint, it is always better to do an MTech, and that too, if there is something that I get from BITS Pilani, I would definitely choose and opt for this specific program. So when you make your career call, and this is your first career call just after your graduation, make it make it worthwhile. Think from a long-term standpoint. What is the advantage that you're going to get after 6, 7 years? If you would want to look back, how your resume would want to look like. If you would just want to be a BSc, or if you would want to get an MTech from BITS Pilani, is something that you will have to decide. And this session, we will tell you what are the nitty-gritties of the online assessment. What is that we expect from you? It's pretty much simple two-step process. First is online assessment. Second is your interview process. So nothing much. And we also don't evaluate you on technology. So it is just about the basic verbal analytical quants. And during your initial interview process, probably a shallow knowledge will be tested on basic technologies. So apart from this, nothing much deep diving on technology. So we know your BSc grads, you know the level of competency that you guys get, the level of training that you have. So we train you. So there is a beautiful program called as PJP, pre-joining program, post-project readiness program. We call it as PRP. So we train you, right? So leave that responsibility to us. So we will take care of your career for the next 6, 7 years. So on that note, I think holistically, this is what I wanted to say. So over to Vanshika. Thanks, Ruchita, for joining in.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Radhika.
Radhika. Thank you, Ruchita, for joining in. So, this is something which Radhika wanted to communicate as to what the WILP program is all about, its benefits and all the features, what are the learnings and offerings. So, without much ado, I would like to introduce Ruchita. She is one of the women leaders in here at Wipro, and currently she is the account delivery head for I4 and has been doing business process outsourcing for over a decade and more. According to Ruchita, she specializes in helping companies and clients get business value for their money, be it in terms of revenue, return on investment, client satisfaction, and many more. So she has helped organizations in establishing a robust, scalable, and cost-competitive environment, and has previously worked with client-facing leadership positions with some of the IBM's and ABM's key clients in the global delivery business. So according to Ruchita, she defines herself as to she loves the autonomy to create value, and the success of it gives her inexplicable high values. Business for her is business as usual is very boring. She believes in creative destruction. So this is all what Ruchita defines herself to be the leader here at Wipro for over a long period of time. So Ruchita, over to you. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you,
Whatever you want to
Vanshika. Thank you,
yeah.
Ananya and Radhika. First, team, apologies. There's heavy rain happening in my place, and there's an internet outage. So I'm actually on my phone, and but if I come on camera, it becomes a little too patchy. So if my service provider comes up, I'll switch back to camera, and then we can probably have a good face-to-face interaction. But with that disclaimer, first of all, welcome everyone. It's an honor. It's a privilege. And it's extremely exciting to meet this group of women who've joined us and looking forward to a journey with one of the largest organization the country has, and what a journey this organization has had over the years. And equally amazing, I can promise you, is going to be your journey with the organization, if not more, right? So everything that everybody said about me, I think is humbling to say the least. I just believe that it's important to be strong. I believe that happy girls are the prettiest girls. And I believe that tomorrow is another day. And I always believe in miracles. And I would always want you all to believe in yourself more than anything else. You do not know your own capabilities till you don't test yourself. Right. So it's very, very important that now that you start your journey, now when you start your professional life, it's a new life. It's going to be your uh, writing, you writing your own history, you writing and creating your own life. Now, when we are born, we have limited choices. We're not given choices, in fact, for that matter, right? We're just born, right? And those are cards that we are dealt with, right? But this is a card that you have in your hand, which is a blank card. It's a blank slate, and you will write your own destiny, right? And this organization is one of the very few in the country who have had a history of nurturing talent, giving people at different strata of society the platform to explore themselves. It's very important for uh, whether it be somebody who's starting their careers now, or it be a person like me who's probably spent 2.5 decades already under the sun trying to make a living for myself from a professional standpoint. But it's very, very important that an organization gives you the bandwidth to explore yourself on what can you do better. And Wipro is one such place where you can explore so much. There's so much to do, there's so much to learn, there's so much to experiment. Nobody's sitting and, nobody's like a monkey on your back and say, okay, you didn't do this right or you didn't do this wrong. I think that's what I love about this place. Nobody just tells you where Nobody's being judgmental, but we're giving you opportunities to try out, and especially for the younger generation who joined us or who are in the process of joining us, you don't know your own potential as of yet, right? Maybe another 2, 3, 4 years, you will know what you're good at or what you want to be better at. But for now, it's important that you get a playground and you figure out whether you want to be the goalkeeper, you want to be the frontline player, you want to be a batsman, whatever you want to be, right? So yes, that's the best part of being in this organization. But as you grow in your career, there are few things that I would want you all to always remember. Not each day is going to be the same. Not each day is going to be great. Trust me, if every day is great, you're not challenging your own self, right? And if not every day is great, that means every day is a learning. And that's how you need to look at life yourself. Every day, every minute, you might fail, you might win, you might succeed, you might win some, lose some. That's all part of life, right? But when you look back at the end of the day, just ask yourself one question: what did I learn today? Because when you pick up those learnings, your next day is definitely going to be better than the previous one that you just wound up, right? There is nothing called success, and there's definitely nothing called failure. The only thing that exists on earth is, am I a better human being than what I was yesterday? Right? And am I chasing my dreams? Am I on the right path towards my dreams? Don't ever lose sight of your dreams, right? Because that's your calling. That's really your calling. And when you listen to your calling is when you do your best. There are times in life when we, especially women, we get under peer pressure, family pressure, different kinds of things happen in life, and we tend to try and put our own selves on the second, third, fourth, or maybe the 10th slot. And I know in life you need to balance it out, and there will be times when you will have to balance it out. But even while you're doing the balancing game, don't lose sight of your dreams, because that is what will give you true happiness. That is what will give you the momentum to keep going on. And once you achieve your goals, once you achieve your first goal, look for the next, look for the next, look for the next. It doesn't really mean that you have to have 5 bungalows, 10 cars, a ton of jewelry inside. That is not how life is going to be like, right? Life is going to just be very simple. Keep it simple. Yeah. And celebrate every small success that you get. Every small success that you get. Once you celebrate that, you are rewarding your own self. Self-acknowledgement and self-reward is the most important thing that you need. You live with yourself the most. You don't live with your parents as much. You don't live with your husbands, family, children, relations, friends as much. But you live with yourself. And if you are acknowledging yourself, that's what gives you motivation. Do not use others' measuring scales. Do not compare yourself to others. They don't know what life was for you. They don't know what life is for you. Just like you don't know what life is for them. What we see on the pretext of everything is just a tip of the iceberg, right? The way we show the world our best side, everybody in the world shows us their best side, right? But we don't really know what happens behind that face. So don't get into this rat race. Very, very important, please, girls, don't get into this rat race. It's important that you have your own path. You don't have to do what 5 other people do. What success for them is not success for you. You define your own success. You define what and where you want to be. And at every given time, calibrate. Okay, I compromised on this ABC. Maybe I moved back 2 steps. I need to take 3 more, come back on track. Very, very important. Keep coming back on track, right? Never give up your sight of your own goals. Do not follow where the path may lead, right? Go instead where there is no path. That is your own unique path that's going to take you to your dreams. Right? Decide for yourself on what you want, how much you want, when you want. Decision making, that brings me to the next topic, decision making. Absolutely, absolutely important part of your lives. Please decide. When you don't decide, remember, whenever you're not choosing to decide, that also is a decision. You're letting somebody else decide for you. right? You are at a stage in your life and in your careers where everything that you do or you don't do is a decision. This is something that I learned myself, and the day I realized it, I was a different person. And that's part of growing up. That's part of growing up. I probably realized it when I was 20, 25 years old, right? And I was like, oh, wow. What I don't do, I let other people do. Whether that is to me, to themselves, I lose out an opportunity to show myself, but that's my decision. The results that you get will be based on your decisions. So definitely, please take charge of your life. Don't let others make your decisions. So that's something that I would really, I can't harp enough on that one point on how important decision making is. Right? Be a strong woman. Right? Be a strong woman so that when you look at yourself in the mirror, you know you've done your best. And your best is your best. Your best is not better than A's best or B's best. Don't get, as I said, don't get into that comparison mode. It never helps. It's like rubbing your cheek against the wall and saying my cheek is red. It hurts. Don't do that. Right? Something my mom used to keep telling me. Don't rub your cheeks against the wall. They'll turn red, but they'll also hurt you. Right? So don't compare. Never important to compare. Compare with your own self. Your skills is important. Did you enhance your skills? Did you invest in your talent? Did you spend enough time to groom yourself up to achieve what you set out to achieve? The world does not owe you a thing. Nobody owes you one paisa. Nobody owes you one dream, one breath. Nobody owes you anything. It's you, yourself, who makes what you need and who makes what you want. So the success is yours. The failure is yours. In my 20, 25 years of work life, of course, I've managed lots of people, comes as part of the job roles. There are people who I've met who said, I worked in ABC organization for 12 years. I deserve a promotion or I deserve a salary hike. That's the most funniest thing you can ever tell anybody. And that's the most rudest fact that you want to believe in. Your work will get you where you should be. That's important. Let your work do the talking. Yes, it's important to market your results. Yes, it's important, very important to have a network so that you learn from what's happening in the environment and you are able to take informed decisions basis those connections that you have, basis the conversations you have with your people in your circle. Very important to do all of that. But then don't be a person who will sit in one corner and say, oh, I worked in this company for 20 years, I really need a promotion. Company owes me one. No, the company doesn't owe you anything. The company owes you salary, which you're getting at the end of the day for the skill set that you got hired for. If you have your dreams, if you want to achieve something in life, please invest in yourselves. If you're working for 8 hours a day and you want to get into a position of maybe, your next level or N+5, 10 years down the line, you want to become a senior manager or a product manager or a risk associate or a banker or whatever is your dream, right? Ensure that you are giving enough time to catch up and invest in your own education. Industry certifications are important, but what's equally important is investing in your own self. The small things, that could be really small things. These are things that I picked up when I was growing up. How you sit, how you talk, how you eat on a table, how you present yourself in office. Very important. These are very silent messages that you convey when you walk into the world, right? Everybody will assess you based on the shoes you wear, based on how you speak, how your hair is, how you look. I don't mean to say you've got to, look like a five-star model. No, but how you present yourself is important. How you sit and how you speak and how you use. There could be times when you're eating food in a cafeteria or you end up being in a formal dinner or a formal lunch. you should know how to use the cutlery and how to sit and how to place your bags and how not to place your phones and your specs and things like that. Because those are silent messages. These, you will never believe that, nobody will tell you, come, let's do a cutlery class, and then land up for lunch with the client next day. That's not going to be realistically possible. Now, when you have the time, now when you're not being challenged for promotions and you don't have really aggressive targets to meet, this is the right time when you want to holistically spend with yourself and see what you want to do 10, 20 years down the line. I'll tell you one very simple fact. If you want a nice life 20 years down the line, sweat it out now. Because if you don't sweat it out now, you'll end up sweating it 20 years later. So it's your choice again. It's your choice whether you want to work hard now and have a nice life later, because that'll happen. This is a cycle. This is how life is. You will have to win some, and to win, you will have to put in hard work. And in my opinion, personal experience, do it when you're younger because it's much easier to adapt, much easier to learn, much easier to change tracks, much easier to take risks when you're younger than when you grow to the other side of the 40s. That's not a time when you want to take risks. That's not a time when you want to be nervous. That's not a time when you are able to challenge yourself much because you're running out on your retirement age. Now, like a person like me, I'm raced against time on my retirement age. It doesn't mean that I'm going to give it up, right? I still have my own goals to meet. I still have my own challenges. But yes, if I could risk, so if you look at if I have to take my own example, I started off when I was in school, college, I was in love with Shakespeare, William Yeats, and those poets from the world. I thought I would become a poet and I would become a writer. And my mom said, girl, wake up, finish your studies, and then you can do what you want to do. Because life had taught her that, her daughter's probably being whimsical at this time. She doesn't know what she wants. She just loves reading, so she thinks it's good to write. And over the next couple of years, when I started doing my graduation, I suddenly shifted gears and I moved to computers. I did my MCA. Right. And then I said, oh, what do I do now? I like to do programming. So I used to sit at night, read up the internet on networks and C programming and Oracle and all that stuff. And then I started a business of my own. That was like when I was 25 years old. My first job was that of an entrepreneur. I took 2 lakhs of rupees from my father as loan and I started a small startup for myself. Because that was the time when I wanted to risk. I knew I could risk. And I knew that I would have the opportunity and the time to pay back those 2 lakh rupees to my dad, even if I failed in my first startup. But trust me, if somebody tells me to invest 20 lakh rupees now, I would think twice. I would think twice because at 40, 42, I don't think I'm at a time when I want to be taking that risk. Right? So that's what I mean by take your risks now. Sweat it now, do your hard work now. Try 5 things, even if you fail, big deal, does not matter. You have the time, you have the opportunity to change gears and finally arrive at what you wanted to do. Right? So I did my MCA. After that, I wanted to do my OCP certifications. Then I changed gears again. I moved into the the BPO industry because not sure how many of you all know, maybe some of you were just born in that time frame. In the year 2000, there was this huge virus that came up because all dates were written in 2 letters for the year. So for example, I would write 10th August 73 and not 10th August 1973. And when 2000 happened, that last 2 years, digits suddenly turned 00, and most of the programs stopped working, and there was a huge chaos in the industry, and that's what was called the first IT bubble burst at that time. So I had to change gears. There were lots of jobs. I was one of them. I was a contractor somewhere. I lost my job. I moved into the BPO industry. Having worked on networks and Unix systems, and suddenly to work with people, first 3 months, I had no clue what was happening to me. I had never seen an Excel sheet before. My manager would ask me, Ruchita, give me this, and I would ask somebody else sitting next to me, how do you do this? Because I'd never seen Windows before. I was always working on a Linux terminal, right? Very, very weird, very, very difficult. 3 months I saw stars. But then I knew if I had to earn my bread, if I had to proceed with my dreams, if I wanted to be financially independent, that's what my dream always was. I had to go through that metamorphosis. I had to accept it, learn, go ahead. Once that journey was crossed, I invested time in industry certifications. I did my COPC certifications. I did my risk management certifications. I did some certifications on identity access management, compliance and security and all of that. I spent some time at IBM doing just that. And now at Wipro, I'm managing a portfolio of clients and counting money for the customer and for Wipro and of course for myself. But again, I've changed gears. It's important to change gears because you don't know your full potential till you really challenge yourself. And any role can quickly become very, very stagnating and boring if you don't try and do something more. Right. So that's a journey that each one of you will have. Each one of you will have that journey. It's for you to decide how you want to walk that path and when you want to walk that path. And remember, when you are trying 5,000 things, 4,000 failures should happen. If not, will happen. But I believe they should happen. Because if they don't happen, you don't learn. You don't learn how to do different. You don't learn how to do better. And you don't learn how to network with people to learn things. So that's important. Don't be afraid of failures. Failure is the best teacher. Sometimes people teach you. Most of the people will believe that, just like I am doing here for the last 10, 15 minutes, trying to tell you what all I learned in life. Trust me, your life could be completely different from mine. And none of this would actually make much relevance to most of you because each one is on a unique path. But just because it worked out for me, 100% will it work out for you? No. But what will work for you always is your hard work, your ability to acquire skill sets, your ability to make decisions, and your ability to absorb failures and learn from them. These are 4 takeaways that I would really want each one of you to keep with you. Write it somewhere if you want to, because these are 4 facts that you will face in life. Nothing can stop that from happening, right? So be ready for failures that will happen. And when they happen, look at it, figure out what went right, what went wrong, what could have you done better. Move on, just move on. Life is all about finding yourself. It's not a destination, it's a journey. Life is about finding yourself, identifying your strengths and your weaknesses, and just be true to who you are. Does not matter if you are, good at one skill and not good at the other. That's your skill set. It's what will give, that's your calling, that's your skill set. That's what will take you to your dreams. That's what will take you to your destination. So it really doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, but what matters is the ability to triumph over what life throws at you. And so these are some of the learnings that I've had in my life. And I would really want each one of you to be consciously aware that each one of you is unique, each one of you is special, each one of you have the power to achieve what you set out for. Anything that you can imagine, anything. Trust me, if you can imagine it, you can create it yourself. It's very, very true. You really have, if you can think about it, if you think it's possible, trust me, only you can do it. There's nobody else who can do what you think, but you can. You just have to work towards it. Just ensure that you read enough, you interact with people enough, you will be able to create your own way, undoubtedly. Challenges will come, of course, they'll come. They are gifts that force us to search for a new ground. But just don't run away when you see a challenge. Don't put your feet up and say, oh, this is difficult, I can't do it. Either you have to cross the challenge, that hurdle, and reach your destination, or find a new way. Maybe that's not the way. Find a new way, and that way will take you to your own destination. Right? So keep trying, keep investing in yourself. Please ensure that you don't ever give up on your dreams. Read a lot, read a lot. This generation, I'm sorry to say, but most of this generation does not have the habit of reading. We are so electronically inclined. We have so much of variety on the internet and social media. We really do not read. And when I say read, I really mean pick up a book and read. Very, very important. Once you develop that habit and once you develop the taste for it, you'll realize the difference of reading a PDF versus picking up a book and reading. It's a different feeling altogether. It's a different learning altogether, and it's a different experience altogether. At least I don't find fun in reading PDFs. I find it very, very engaging if I have a pen in hand and if I highlight some of the words that I like or some of the things that I want to go back to at some point in time in my life. And I always keep my books very nicely, neatly. I still use brown paper to cover my books. A childhood habit that I have, and all of them nicely and neatly labeled and stashed away in my library. So yeah, read a lot, girls. It's very, very important. You'll never know the answer to most of the questions that life throws at you, but if you're well read, you'll be able to make a better choice. You'll be able to make better decisions. You'll be better informed, and that's really few things that life taught me, and I would want to leave that with all of you. I'm not sure how much time have I overshot my time, Vanshika, Radhika. Not sure. I just love talking to this group of people.
Yes, Ruchita. Actually, we loved it actually, and your words are really very inspiring, not just for these women candidates, but even for me and Ananya as well. I think
My
we have been discussing this previously also, and even today, like we wanted to, like you have always set up a great example of like what true leadership looks like, and we cannot really wait to utilize all these life-changing skills and tips from you. So I'm sure
my
that
absolute pleasure.
these women, yeah, these women, these women, and in fact, all of us would be glad to hear from you. And it's really an honor to have you here on this platform.
My absolute pleasure, dear. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. All right, so let's proceed ahead with our agenda for the day. So, as we had this session, we have this exclusively women session organized for all of you. And this women leader has shown her life insights about how her journey has been so far. So, we'll move ahead for our upcoming online assessment. So, I can see few of the questions that you all have undergone through the assessments that we have been conducting so far after your registrations. So need not worry if you have already attempted for your assessment. Feel free to drop off because this call is set up only to provide you the tips and tricks. What are the do's and don'ts in terms of your assessment? Like before you appear for your online assessment, what are the tips? We are just going to share all those details. So if you have already given your assessment, and you're waiting for your next steps, be it your interviews or your final rounds, feel free to drop off this call. And for the new ones who have just done your registrations, please stay tuned with us, and we'll update you with what are the do's and don'ts for your online assessment. So this is basically about the systemic requirements that you all require before appearing for the online assessment. So please make sure that you are using only a desktop or a laptop for appearing to your online assessment because this software is not mobile friendly. Also, you need to use the operating system which is Windows 8 or above. Windows 7 is not applicable. So make sure that you are using only Windows 8 or above than that. And the browser that the tool will be supporting is only Google Chrome. So please ensure that you are using the latest version of Google Chrome and try that you are disabling your antivirus. Ensure that the time that you have set on your system, your desktop or your laptop is in IST. So it is very much mandatory that you are using your webcams, you are providing access to your webcams and microphones. Strictly your usage of earphones, any sort of Bluetooth devices, your headphones, your AirPods, or any your neck bands, these are strictly prohibited. So you need not use any such Bluetooth devices while appearing for the online assessment. Next comes that you need to download an SAB tool, which is a safe assessment browser tool. So this tool is really very mandatory because this is the platform where you will be appearing for your online assessment. Now then there are certain postures as to how you need to sit while you are appearing for the assessment. You need to be in a room where there is no such disturbance. Please try to avoid the bright lights coming up on your face or in the background. Like you should put on the curtains. There should be no bright light coming up on your face. Ensure that you are adjusting the camera level as per your eye level. And close all the other tabs, windows, any other applications that you have been using so far. Just open this particular tab and close all the other windows. Now, there are certain steps as how you need to install the SAB tool. So, these are the guidelines that you need to follow before your online assessment. Apart from this, you will receive one boarding pass. I'll show you the snapshot very soon. All the details, including your installation for SAB tool or your pass key or any such details, everything is imbibed on your boarding pass. And there is a link that you need to follow to install the SAB tool. So please make sure once you click on the link, click on download, whichever windows you are using. Accordingly, make the selection. Once your file is downloaded, you need to unzip the file because the file that you will be downloading will be in zip folder and you need to unzip the file. So once this is done, you can start off your examination. So these are the steps after your download of SAB tool is done. You need to open and you have to put in the access token. So this access token you will receive in your boarding pass. Boarding pass, you have the details to install, the link to install SAP tool and this access token. All these details will be there in your boarding pass. Then you can click on start test. How do you start your assessment now? Once you click on access token and you start your assessment, you will be prompted with three other queries. Your superset ID, the same ID which you have used for registration on the superset platform, your password and the pass key. Again, your password and pass key will be there in your boarding pass. So then once you have filled up all the details, you can click on start assessment. Please do not toggle between the screens, do not switch to any other tabs, and do not open any other Google or any other browser to search and complete your assessment. Because if you are switching between the tabs, your assessments will be disrupted and you will be disqualified. While starting off the examination, your actual online assessment, you will be prompted with certain details as your webcam and audio proctored. Please click on accept. These are certain guidelines. Once you click on accept, then there are certain instructions that you need to follow as you need to switch off your mobile phones and you should not be found using any sort of cheating or please do not be indulged in any sort of malpractices because we will be proctoring your entire assessment. So if you are caught using any malpractices, you will be totally disqualified. Make sure that you are using a better internet connectivity. And if you are having certain issues with your connections, please make sure you have a backup option. Once you click on Start Now, you will find all these green ticks. So these green checkers will be a symbol that you are good to go for your online assessment. Your operating system, browser version, and the JavaScript being enabled. Now comes your camera for the assessment. There are certain pop-ups coming up. You need to click on the pictures Until the time your actual face is not detected, it will not proceed. Please do not wear a face mask or do not cover your face during the entire assessment duration. You need to have your face being uncovered and a clear picture, a clear face being detected. So once you have you are clicking the picture, please click on close. If you need to, if you are popped up with multiple attempts to click a picture, please do that and close this pop-up. You need to ensure that there is a wall. The wall behind you is a plain wall, and there are no fixtures or any sort of objects hanging over it. You need to be remain seated during the entire course of online assessment. Do not get up and go for your water or anything of that stuff. Make sure you have all the necessary arrangements for your assessment and you are not getting up again and again. You have to be seated for the next 80 minutes of your online assessment. And do not complete your test window till the time you are finally completing and submitting your assessment. Then there are certain examination ethics that you will be having video proctoring. Please do not be there in certain cheating modes. Then the system will detect your face. So if you are found using multiple faces, then you will be disqualified. So these are certain mandates that we expect from you. We will be sharing this guide as to what are the browser version, what are the Windows, what are the FAQs. So you can go through these FAQs once you receive. These are basically the steps if you feel if you have any errors while downloading the SAB tool or what are the common errors, how can you rectify? So along with your boarding pass, we will share an email, a technical support, which you can use while if you face any such issues during the assessment. Then comes your guidelines. So you need to use only a laptop or a desktop. No Bluetooth devices, your earphones, your headphones, or your neck bands, AirPods, anything is not allowed. If you are caught using malpractices, you will be strictly disqualified. Please make sure that you are using the Google Chrome browser, the very latest version, and Windows 8 and above will only be supported for your assessments. Now you need to be seated in a very quiet room with good internet connection, with no extra light coming on your face. And your face should be clearly visible. The wall behind you should be very much plain with no objects hanging over it. And do not start the test when it is scheduled. We expect you to join the test, to start the test 15 minutes prior to your scheduled time. So make sure you are not involved in last minute of hustle. Join the test 15 minutes before. And in case you have any technical issues, please refer to the FAQ document we will be rolling out before your online assessment. And do not be involved in any sort of malpractices. So these are certain pictures that you need to, this is just for your reference. Do not be seated in a poor lighting. Do not look sideways. And do not leave your seat during the entire course of your assessment. Also, you should not be kept on mute. Your audio should be always unmuted. Your camera should be on for the entire 80 minutes. You can use the calculators. Calculators can be the normal ones, not the scientific calculators. And also, a rough sheet is fine. If you need to use a rough sheet for certain calculations of quantitative skills or so, you can use all these stuff. And rest is just a point of matter, just a matter of reference for you that there is no negative marking. So you are free to attempt as many questions as you want to because there is no negative marking. Now, just to show you the sample about the test. So basically, your online assessment will be for 80 minutes. Your entire 80 minutes will be wherein it is divided into three parts. Verbal, analytical, and quant will be for section 1. And section 2 is your written communication test. So your online assessment will be for two broad categories. One is your verbal analytical font, and second will be your written communication test. In your verbal analytical and quant, you will be prompted with 20 questions for 20 minutes each. Now, these are the certain sample questions which you can have a look at. All right. Once you are done with section one, that is 60 minutes with 60 questions, you'll be able to find the summary. How many questions have you attempted out of 20? And if there are any pending actions that you need to take, you can take. If you need to go back to the assessment and modify your answers, you can go back to that also. Once you are done with this first section of verbal, analytical, and quant, 60 minutes, 60 questions, you can submit your first segment. Then comes your second segment, which is for 20 minutes alone. This is WET written English test. In this written English test, you are prompted to write certain, your general communication, your vocabulary will be checked. You will be assessed upon your writing skills. So it can either be a story writing, an article writing, or an essay writing. And minimum words are 200, maximum are around 250. So you will be given 20 minutes to attempt this question as well. Once you are done, you can click on submit. And after you click on submit, post your two sections are done for your 80 minutes. You will be shown with the result, whether you are shortlisted or you are not shortlisted. Here comes a snapshot of your assessment summary, the name of assessment, time taken, and when was your assessment scheduled, and what is the correct timing, and along with your superset ID. So this is all about your online assessment. Now, as I told you, there is a boarding pass which we will be sharing with you prior to your online assessment. This is a boarding pass. Now, in this boarding pass, you will be prompted. You can see a test timing. So when is your assessment scheduled? What time slot? Because assessments are happening in batches. We have different time slots for different candidates. So there is a test date, test time. Then is your SAB tool link. How do you install the SAB tool? That particular tool where you will be able to give your online assessments. After that comes your access token, as it is mentioned here. Then there are certain system guide videos which you can use as a reference. You can go through it once. Then is your FAQ document. So all these documents will give you a clarity, a more broader picture as to uh, what to what to do when you are stuck with certain technical issues or whom to refer. So all these will be shared to you. Then last comes your superset ID and your password. So all the details that you need to use before you log in for your online assessment will be shared in this boarding pass. This boarding pass will already be will be shared to you during your prior to your online assessment. This is a snapshot of your assessment pattern. English, you will be judged upon English grammar, your basics and advanced, reading comprehension, your verbal skills, then analytical skills, flowchart, visual, logical, then your quantitative, algebra, geometry, all these pointers. So 20 questions, 20 minutes each, which makes it up for 60 minutes. Then is your written communication last for maximum of 250 to 300 words, again with the duration of 20 minutes. So in all, your entire online assessment is for 80 minutes. And once you complete your online assessment, you will be receiving a snapshot of your result, whether you are shortlisted or not. Post that, basis your scores, we will call you up for the final rounds of interviews. And this is it. Your registrations are done. Your online assessment is the next step. Post your online assessment, you will be having your interviews scheduled. That too will happen in batches. So this was all from our end. Now we'll take up your questions simultaneously. Parallelly, I'm sharing a QR code so that we can imbibe your feedback. whatever you feel like after this session. So this is something that we wanted to share. Please post up your questions and we'll take your queries one by one. The link I have already posted it in the chat box. All those who are unable to access the chat box, I'm sharing a QR code for you. All right. Please start scanning this QR code and we can take up your queries. Okay, so all those who have already appeared for the online assessment and you have not received your results, you will get your results very soon. So this is something where, okay, MTech degree is fully sponsored from BITS Pilani and you will not be charged with a single penny. So your entire course is fully sponsored by Wipro. Ananya, can you please support in taking some of the questions? If you find few of the questions, because these are all jumbled up
Sure,
for me.
Vanshika. Yeah. I was answering also a few. I'll just have a look
Okay,
if there
okay.
are some new questions.
Yeah, please. So there is a question as to what are the benefits of this program. So Radhika has already spoken about the benefits. You will not only be studying with us, you will be working with us parallelly, and you will be fully sponsored with an MTech degree. And post completion of your MTech, your designation would be Senior Project Engineer with a band D2. And you all need to be open to relocate because we are not having positions open only for one particular location. We are onboarding you guys on a pan India basis.
Vanchika, I can see a couple of questions regarding, candidates have received an email already stating that they've cleared the assessment and they've got some slots to select for Step Plus. So candidates,
Okay.
if you've been asked to select slots for Step Plus, please go ahead, select slots as per your availability, whatever is convenient, and we will assign in, your Step Plus assessment according to your availability. If for some reason we're not able to give you a slot as per the availability that you have suggested, then in that case, we'll make sure that we give you another slot, or we ask for, other availability slots from you, and then accordingly assign your Step Plus assessment. So what I'm trying to really say here is for everyone, if you've received that you've been shortlisted in the test, either you'll have an interview or you'll have a Step Plus assessment as the second step, whatever may be the the option for you here, we will make sure that the interview is scheduled or your Step Plus assessment is scheduled as per your availability, as per the slots that you have suggested. And for some reason, if we are not able to align as per that, then we will again ask for your availability and assign the next slot for you. So don't worry. We'll make sure that you get enough chances to attempt for the assessment or the interview, whatever the case may be for you.
Right. So, difference between WAVE and WIMS. So, we will be bifurcating you on the basis of certain scores, certain eligibility checks, and post that we'll have a separate discussion on this WAVE and WIMS topic. So all those who have not received any such mailers as to when is your next assessment being scheduled or what is the steps, we have your assessments on 26th of November. If I'm not wrong, we have 26th as the date, no? Ananya?
Yes, Vanshika, yes.
Okay. So we have your assessment scheduled for 26th of November. Post that, you will be appearing on the basis of your scores, you'll be going for the final rounds of your interview. So we'll be sharing you the FAQ document that you all can refer as a guideline how to appear for your online assessment. Please make sure you are not opening that guideline book during your online assessment. These steps should be taken a few days back, like 1 to 2 days before your scheduled online assessment. An MTech degree will be fully sponsored from Wipro-WILP. Because we follow the model of 5 days of learning, 5 days of earning and 1 day of learning, wherein Monday to Friday you all work with us under certain projects with different exposures, and on the weekends, any one day out of Saturday or Sunday, you get to happen your MTech classes, which will be taught to you directly by the professors of Wipro-WILP.
I see some questions regarding candidates, facing some technical issues during the interview. If you've already attempted your interview and you face some technical issues wherein the interview got disconnected midway, so just wanted to let you guys know, we will go through the recordings, we'll go through your candidature, we'll see if the technical issue was a genuine technical issue. In that case, we'll reschedule the interview. But if you did not show up for the interview, then we'll take a call. But first, we'll complete interviews of all pending candidates. And then we'll take a call if we want to re-invite candidates who did not show up for the interview at all. So technical issue cases, we'll go through the recordings, we'll go through the systemic checks, see if it's a genuine technical issue case, reschedule the interview for those candidates. But for candidates who did not appear at all for the interview, in that case, we will first prioritize the pending candidates and then take a call if a second chance needs to be given to you all or not. But no guarantees at this point in time. So a word of advice here, since we will be conducting interviews till December, mid-December, and this is happening in batches. Missing out on mails right now might not be a very, very fruitful option for you. So just keep going through your emails, the registered email ID. We send all communications on your registered email ID. So when I say registered email ID, it is nothing but the email ID that you have used while applying on Superset for Wipro. So we keep sending communications, whatever is the communication that we have to send from our side to you all, it's going to happen on your registered email ID. So make it a practice, go through your registered email ID at least once in a day so that you are on top of your emails and you are aware of what is happening. We try and give you ample heads up. So if you're scheduling your interview, we'll at least give you 24 hours of a heads up. So if you're checking your emails once in a day, I think that should be enough for you to be certain that you will have your interview tomorrow or whenever it is.
Yeah, thanks, Ananya. Also, we will be sharing the invites for your 26th November online assessment before that. So maybe by tomorrow or by day after, you will receive certain emailers, certain invites for your 26th November online assessment. Any other questions, or are we done with this event?
I think we're done. We've pretty much addressed the common issues.
All right, so we wish you all the very best for your upcoming online assessment as on 26th of November. Please keep checking your mailers, your spam folders as well, and we shall have your online assessments done very shortly. So need not worry because this activity is happening in batches. We will call you we'll call each one of you. Need not worry about it, and just keep following the mailers and what are the steps which we have been sharing with you. All right. Thank you so much for joining in this session. Thank you, Ananya.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Vanshika. Good evening.
Good evening.